Today we're talking about the DJI Osmo Mobile 3, and yes, I got a pre-release version of this gimbal, so we're gonna test it out and see if it's any good. DJI Osmo Mobile 2, DJI Osmo Mobile 3, but before we get into discussing these gimbals, I do want to mention that this video is sponsored by Squarespace. So I got a chance to test this gimbal out before it was released, and I'm not actually working with DJI. I got this through the grapevine. I have friends in different places, and I managed to get my hands on one of these, which is great because I've always liked the DJI Osmo Mobile 2. This has been like one of my favorite smartphone gimbals, partly because it's so simple and it works so well. So essentially, when you look at these two gimbals side by side, they look pretty identical, except for obviously the now foldable design. And that's probably one of the big things that you see with this gimbal is it folds up much smaller, so this can just fit in your pocket, and it takes on the form of a lot of these foldable gimbals that you're seeing coming out now. So beyond the foldable design, which that's obviously good and helpful, it's got this kink design. So it's off to the side versus being straight up and down with the motors. And the kink basically allows you to fold it up in this way. It also puts the motors off to the side a little bit so they're not straight behind. Now with this gimbal, the only other difference is you now have a trigger. And I've said this before in a lot of my gimbal reviews, the trigger is super important when it comes to a gimbal because when you're filming in your tilt lock mode or your follow all mode, having the trigger basically allows you to stop all the motors and lock it completely. So you could be going in one direction, hold the lock button, it freezes it, you can move your position and let go and keep moving. So having this accessible at your fingertip is huge because then you don't have to switch it into lock mode and then switch back into tilt lock mode and then go back into lock mode. You're not basically switching back and forth between all these modes, you're just holding a trigger on and off. So beyond that, the buttons are pretty identical. You have a mode button on the front, you have a record, you have your joystick, which basically allows you to spin the camera in all directions, and you have your zoom controls on the side. Other than that, this gimbal looks pretty identical in terms of look and feel. So it's essentially just an upgrade from the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 with a few things that people have been asking for, like the trigger on the back. Now, one other thing is all these motors do lock when you put it away, so you don't have like your flimsy gimbal. So they've basically taken the DJI Osmo Mobile 2, upgraded it, put all the things that you want in it, and now you have a gimbal that's better than the DJI Osmo Mobile 2. So you also charge through USB-C on this gimbal, and you can charge your smartphone. There's an output that charges from the handle to your smartphone. So you can put your phone on there, charge it, keep it going. This thing has a 15-hour battery life, so you're really never gonna run out of battery if you're shooting all day, even probably 2 days. You're not gonna run out of battery, and it takes about 2 hours to charge it fully. So pretty good in terms of a gimbal. So with this gimbal, you have a bunch of modes. You have photo, video, time-lapse. You also have a hyperlapse mode that works very well, and you have this thing called stories. Now with the story, it basically sets up stories with music, and you shoot like 3 or 4 seconds of a shot. It then tells you to reframe, do another shot, and it does an automation move. And then from there, it creates a story that then you can export to your social media. It's cool, it's interesting, but it's not something that I'm ever gonna personally use because I would rather just shoot my content, make my videos. But if you're someone who does a lot of social media content and you just kind of want to make something fun and like put some videos together like quick and easy, you can do it in that way. However, you have to kind of do shots in succession. So if it's a 4-shot thing, you have to do those shots one right after the other while the app is open. It's not something I would use, but interesting. Now on the screen in your upper left, you have your home button. Below that, you have your camera settings. You can go from auto to manual. Below that, you can choose your frame rate and your resolution. Below that is your advanced settings. So we'll click into our advanced settings. And this is where you can go in and change your follow mode. So if you want to do tilt lock versus follow all motors, you have your sport mode, your zoom speed, your control stick speed, your control stick direction, invert pan, invert tilt. So you can really customize the buttons and the layout and how you want to work with it to whatever works best for you. Not a ton of settings, but at the same time, it's everything that you would need out of a smartphone gimbal. Now with the hyperlapse feature, it's super easy. You just turn it on. It's gonna take a photo as you move and automatically stitch it all together. With the time-lapse function, you can do moving time lapses where you take a photo looking up here, then take a photo looking down here, and then one up here, and you can tell the gimbal how long you want to do that path. So you can do this moving time lapse that goes like all over. Cool features, all good things to have within a gimbal, and these are kind of common along most gimbals. All right, I gotta pause it right here and just mention that this video is sponsored by Squarespace. From personalized websites to online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace has got you covered. They're an all-in-one platform where you can build a custom website that's gonna support your brand or whatever it is that you're doing. And as a creator, I think it's super important to have your own website. That is your home. That is the place that you go if somebody needs to find more information about you. So for me, my website, jevendovey.com, is built on Squarespace because it is the place that I send people if they need to get more information, contact info, sponsors, anything else. And the reason that I use Squarespace is that it's super easy to build a website. You don't have to have any coding knowledge. They have beautiful designs and award-winning 24/7 customer support. And I'm not just saying that, I do use their customer supports and they respond to me right away. So it's actually an awesome company. I'm happy that they're helping support this channel because I believe in what they're doing and I actually use their software. So head over to squarespace.com and use my code JevenDovey for 10% off your first purchase. So let's talk about tracking. This gimbal has tracking in it, and for both sides of the camera, whether you're facing an object and tracking an object, or you're facing yourself and want to track yourself and you want to get that selfie shot where you're always in the shot. Now, when I was playing around with this, the tracking works very well. DJI has good software for tracking in their gimbals, and as you can see from this footage, I was able to not only track objects that were on the other side of camera, but also when I tracked my face, I was able to set the gimbal down and move around in mixed lighting settings. I had the sun, off to the side, really harsh lighting conditions, and the gimbal did a fairly good job of just tracking my face all around. The only time that it lost it was when I walked too far away. So you can see how powerful this feature is. So if you're someone who does this vlog style content and you want to set your gimbal down and have like a lavalier mic on, you could walk around and have this camera continually follow you. It actually works very well. Now, it's not perfect. No tracking is perfect, but I do think that this tracking works very well, and I was able to play around with it in a few different settings. And just from my initial test playing around with it, this gimbal is better than a lot of the other gimbals that I've worked with in terms of the tracking software. Now, personally, in terms of the DJI Osmo Mobile 3, the strongest parts about this is that it is smooth. It does get good shots. That's important, like whether it's smooth or not. You can get good footage with this. And the fact that they've added the trigger, that's a huge upgrade for me. That and the design of it works well. Now, some of the downsides for it. Because of this kink design, when you're using a bigger phone, it actually limits you in terms of tilting up and tilting down. And I noticed this when I was kind of shooting normal and tilting up and I wanted to see the palm trees. I noticed that I was hitting the motor on the side and I wasn't able to do that far of a tilt. So something to keep in mind with this design and bigger phones, you're gonna have limited range in terms of your tilt up and your tilt down. Now, also when it comes to the weight of this gimbal, you can only really fit your phone in there. I tried it with moment lenses, I tried it with some other things attached to it, and with this gimbal as is, with no counterweights, you can't add anything on. So this gimbal is very good if you're just using your phone as is with the camera on your phone. Now, if you wanna do add-ons to this, you're gonna have to have some sort of counterweight, and I'm not sure how that's gonna work with this gimbal yet, if it will work or if it won't work, but it's something to keep in mind. So if you're someone who likes to have add-ons onto your gimbal like lenses, then you might want to consider getting one that can handle the payload of the lenses. One other thing that's interesting is that this gimbal is set up for vertical shooters. When you turn on the gimbal, it automatically goes into this vertical mode like you're doing stories. Now you double click the mode button and then it goes into horizontal mode. So they're definitely aiming this gimbal at people who shoot vertical because when you turn it on, it automatically goes into that vertical mode. Overall, this is a great gimbal, and if you have a DJI Osmo Mobile 2, then I would say it's worth the upgrade for sure. And the reason is the trigger. The trigger makes it much easier to create the shots that you want to create and be more fluid. Also, just in general, the whole build of it is nice. It's nice that it folds up into your pocket and it gets smooth shots. So guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts about this design in general. Do you like this kinked design? Do you like it off to the side, or do you prefer like the old school way of how gimbals used to look? Let me know down in the comments below. But guys, that is it. Let me know if you have any questions about this gimbal, and I'll see you on the next one.